Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter. हिंदी में है क्या? हिंदी में देना? हिंदी? हिंदी है इसलिए मुझे पता है. Okay. Yes, yes. So canto 10, chapter 81, text 29 onwards. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna. So we are reading this shlokas. Purport is there for 34. So I'll just read through 29 till 33rd and then 34th we'll take. So we'll start with the prayers only directly so that. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Goratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 81. The Lord blesses Sudama Brahmana. And very nice section is going on where Lord is bestowing His mercy silently on His friend Sudama. So We are just reading ahead of 29th. The translation of 29th is: in Sudama's home were beds as soft and white as the foam of milk, with bedsteads made of ivory and ornamented with gold. There were also couches with golden legs, as well as royal chamara fans, golden thrones, soft cushions, and gleaming canopies hung with strings of pearls. Upon the walls of sparkling crystal glass, inlaid with precious emeralds, shone jeweled lamps, and the women in the palace were all adorned with precious gems. As he viewed this luxurious opulence of all varieties, the Brahmana calmly reasoned to himself about his unexpected prosperity. Text 33. I have always been poor, Sudama Brahmana thought. Certainly, the only possible way that such an unfortunate person as myself could become suddenly rich is that Lord Krishna, the supreme opulent chief of the Yadu dynasty, has glanced upon me. Text 34. Will repeat. नन्वब्रूवाणो दिशते समक्षम् याचिष्णवे भूर्यपि भूरि भोजः पर्जन्यवत्तत् स्वयमीक्षमाणो दाशार्हकाणां वृषभः सखा मे नन्वब्रुवाणो दिशते समक्षम् याचिष्णवे भूर्यपि भूरि भोजः पर्जन्यवत्तत् स्वयमीक्षमाणो दाशार्हकाणां वृषभः सखा मे नन्वब्रुवाणो दिशते समक्षम् याचिष्णवे भूर्यपि भूरि भोजः पर्जन्यवत्तत् स्वयमीक्षमाणो दाशार्हकाणां वृषभः सखा मे. Somebody? नन्वब्रुवाणो दिशते समक्षम् भूरि भोजः वत्तत् स्वयमीक्षमाणो दाशार्हकाणां वृषभः सखा मे. नन्वब्रुवाणो दिशते समक्षम् याचिष्णवे भूर्यपि भूरि भोजः पर्जन्यवत्तत् स्वयमीक्षमाणो दाशार्हकाणां वृषभः सखा मे. नन्वब्रुवाणो दिशते समक्षम् भोजः पर्जन्यवत्तत् स्वयमीक्षमाणो दाशार्हकाणां वृषभः सखा मे. माताजी. नन्वब्रुवाणो दिशते समक्षम् Bhojaha Parjanyavat Swayami Kshamano Vrishabha Sakhame. Word to word meaning. Nanu, after all, Abruvanaha, not speaking, Dishate, he has given, Samaksham, in his presence, Yaschishnave, to him who has intending to beg, Bhuri, plentiful, wealth, Api, even, Bhuri, of plentiful wealth, Bhojaha, the enjoyer, Parjanyavat, like a cloud, the Tat, that, Swayam, himself, Ikshamanaha, seeing, Dasharhakanam, of the descendants of King Dasharha, Rushabha, the most exalted, Sakha, friend, me, my. Translation and purport by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. After all, my friend Krishna, the most exalted of the Dasharhas and the enjoyer of unlimited wealth, noticed that I secretly intended to beg from him. Thus, even though he said nothing about it, when I stood before him, he actually bestowed upon me the most abundant riches. In this way, he acted just like a merciful rain cloud. Purport. Shri Krishna is Bhuri Bhoja, the unlimited enjoyer. He did not tell Sudama how he was going to fulfill his unspoken request, because according to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, he was thinking at that time, my dear friend has given me these grains of rice, which are greater than all the treasures I own. Even though in his own house he had no such gift to bring me, he took the trouble of begging it from the neighbor. Therefore, it is only proper that I give him something more valuable than all my possessions. But nothing is equal to or greater than what I possess. So all I can do is give him such meager things as the treasures of Indra, Brahma, and other demigods. Embarrassed at being unable to properly reciprocate his devotees' offering, Lord Krishna bestowed his favor on the Brahmana silently. The Lord acted just like a magnanimous rain cloud, which provides the necessities of life for everyone near and far, but feels ashamed that its rain is too insignificant a gift to give in return for the abundant offerings that farmers make to it. Out of shame, the cloud may wait until night time, when the farmers are asleep, before watering their fields. The chiefs of the Dasharha clan, with whom Lord Krishna is identified in this verse, were specially renowned for their generosity. So I would like to take the blessings of all the senior devotees and all of you, so that we can discuss about this topics of Srimad Bhagavatam. So as we see here that Krishna silently bestowed mercy upon his friend Sudama. And we can see that this mercy or this reciprocation is way, way beyond normal social etiquette. So we see that when Sudama came to Dwaraka, That time Krishna received Sudama very nicely, and of course, Jai SriSriRadhaRasbihari ki, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Shri Gaunitai ki. So that was the etiquette which Krishna was following, being a Kshatriya. And that was the time when everybody was very particular in following these etiquettes. Because we see that even when Krishna, Bhima and Arjuna went to even demoniac kings like Jarasandha, he was also very respectful and very kind of merciful. And but then one of the acharyas, they give this understanding that it was a normal for a householder Kshatriya to invite Brahmana like Sudama and then washing his feet and doing all that things. But then he says, and we can see also in that picture where Sudama's lotus feet are getting washed by personally Krishna. So this Acharya describes that, Bhagavatam describes that with tearful eyes, with so much of gratitude, with so much of emotion, Krishna was washing the feet of Sudama. It was not just a ritual which he was doing every day. And then we see that personally Rukmini, who is the chief of goddess, so she was personally fanning this Brahmana. So this is not just a ritual, this is not just a simple reciprocation. As here we see that the thoughts of Krishna, who only spiritual teachers like Bhakti Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur can tell us what Krishna is thinking when he is dealing with Sudama. So very nicely here, the purport, this is described, that how Krishna was thinking. So both things we'll discuss today, that after getting so many riches, how Sudama was thinking, and while bestowing these riches to Sudama, how Krishna was thinking. Both are very amazing, that how a devotee thinks when he gets mercy of Krishna, and how Krishna thinks when he is giving that mercy to his devotees. So here we see that the whole home of Sudama was transformed from hut to a big palatial building. And when he entered there, he couldn't believe his eyes that was like a superior to even Indra's wealth. And then he was very kind of surprised and things like that. But then we see that when he was seeing these riches, he was not thinking that, of course it was supposed to come because I am such a wonderful Brahmana and I have waited it for so long, and it is obvious. I have done a lot of tapasya, and that's why these riches, they would have come little early, but better late than never. So that is also okay. So somebody may think like this, but then here we see that when he is getting this riches, he feels humbled that actually I don't deserve it. But then Krishna is so merciful that he has given it. So when a devotee gets mercy in terms of material facilities, his understanding is not to that these facilities I am getting just because of my endeavor, my qualification, but then he thinks that this facilities I am getting it because Krishna is being so merciful, because Guru Parampara is so merciful. That's how we are getting this mercy. Yesterday only we were reading this Servant of Servant by His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. So there he describes that when he was traveling back from India to America, because he came and Prabhupada saw that somebody is needed here to take care of Indian preaching and many things. So whenever there was anything like that which was challenging, Prabhupada will remember Tamal Krishna Maharaj. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj came here for 4 years. He was taking care of all the management here in Indian Yatra. But being a preacher, he was more interested in going back and preaching and doing book distribution in America. So by the blessings of Prabhupada, he was relieved from that his services here, and then he was going back to America after many years. So when he was going, there he describes that he got a flight, and then he went, and then their devotees were there ready to welcome him. Temple was there, deities were there, and so there also he writes that 10 years back, when he was going there, just before that 10 years, Prabhupada had landed in America without any assistance, without any clear-cut idea ki how Americans are going to accept Krishna consciousness, without much facilities, without even a ticket of flight. He has to go through 36 days of very arduous journey. So each thing when he was going there and then seeing the that how much now the things have developed and everything was ready. He has to just go and serve there. So when he was going there, he was just remembering Prabhupada, how he went through so many difficulties to create these facilities. Now the devotees are just going easily and then taking care of the preaching activities. And I still remember that how these great personalities who were trained by Prabhupada, whenever the facilities came, their love for Prabhupada, their gratefulness for Prabhupada, their intent to serve Prabhupada increased many folds when they got these facilities. Yesterday also we were discussing that I had gone to Delhi, east of Kailash, SriSriRadhaRasbihariTemple. So this was quite a few years back, and then we were staying in front. They had purchased one building. New bhaktas were staying there, remember? So one room we were staying. So that devotee was telling that how this whole building was taken. Now slowly they purchased the whole thing. I think 2-3 floors were there. And then he was showing me how new bhaktas are staying there and then top, things like that. So we went to the terrace, and then he was telling that when the inauguration was there, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj came, and then he was seeing that this whole building now is devotees are staying, and so nicely so many devotees are there for joining and then expanding the movement. So he was telling that he was so pleased with the efforts of Sundar Gopal Prabhu, and then he gave his personal garland to him, and he was practically in tears. So Maharaj was crying tears, and then Maharaj was remembering how Prabhupada had suffered a great deal in Delhi when he was preaching alone. And then Maharaj was describing that this is the same place where Prabhupada was going alone, taking back to Godhead and going in the streets in summer, and there was no help. But he was so intended to serve his spiritual master, and now we have so many things by mercy of Prabhupada. So we see that when devotees get facilities, their dedication to the Lord and Guru becomes more enhanced, not dampened. So, compared to what devotees did in Juhu 50 years back, we are living in palace practically. Everything is there. Prabhupada had he was saving money, even few paisas, just to not take any taxi or not to take any bus also. Prabhupada used to walk from Andheri station to Juhu. Nowadays we cannot even imagine. At the age of 70, he was trying to save some few paisas. He was walking all the way. For us now, we feel that there should be some car at least. So, and of course, somebody is using car, there is nothing wrong in it. But then we should understand that this is mercy of Prabhupada and it has to be used in Prabhupada's service. So here also Sudama is very, very emotional, very grateful, and then he's thanking Krishna that what else somebody can expect when he's being glanced by Krishna. So that is just by being in the presence of Krishna, that itself is great mercy received. And we have seen it, that anybody who comes here in this temple and gets the merciful glance of Radha-Rasbihari, Shri Gaunitai, Sitaram Lakshmana Hanuman, we can see that they are surely blessed. They may or may not know, but they are blessed. So, when we are getting this chance, we are getting this opportunity, then we should serve in that capacity also. And specifically when we are seeing here how Krishna is reciprocating with this simple Brahmana, Sudama, that Krishna is thinking, he has given me such a important, valuable things. What he had given? He had given just some few rice. That was also not like 10 kgs or 20 kgs or that was not, it was few grams of chipped rice, which anybody, anywhere, one can get it. But then, here we see that Krishna was thinking that he has gone out to beg. Not just, he was not having anything. He went out, humbly begged, and then that rice he has given to me. So for this rice he has to go through so much of trouble. So he was thinking that this is a very valuable thing. It's not. So we can see also that the Lord becomes practically indebted to such devotee whenever he offers something with great love. So, when Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yo me bhaktya prayachati Tadaham bhakti uparutam ashnami pretatmana. Krishna becomes very touched by any offering of such loving offering of devotees. So here also we see that this was on the material plane, there was not much value to Sudama's chipped rice. But then when Krishna is seeing the efforts and the intent of that devotee, how he is offering that simple thing also. So that is how Krishna reciprocates with devotees' offerings. And if somebody is offering time, energy to Krishna, then Krishna is so pleased. Krishna becomes so indebted. That's how the magnanimous character of Krishna is. We see that there is a very nice purport just on the one chapter before. This is Bhagavatam 10th canto 18th chapter 38th verse. Here also we see that Krishna and Sudama, they both were there in the ashram of Sandipani Muni, and then they were lost in jungle in rainy season. Of course, that was not a rainy season, that was non-rainy season, like now. And then that was an unexpected rain happened, the way it happened 2 days back. So, and then that's how they were going very peacefully, but then suddenly the rain came and then they were stuck. So, there also we see that Krishna is reminding Sudama about it. So this is 38th shloka, 1080, 38. Vayam bhrusham tatra mahanilambubhi nihanyamana muhurambu samplave disho vidanto thaparasparam vane gruhita hasta paribabhrimaturaha. Constantly besieged by the powerful rain and wind, we lost our way amidst the flooding waters. We simply held each other's hand and in a great distress wandered aimlessly about the forest. Srila Sridhara Swami points out that the verb paribabhrima may be understood to be prefix pari with either the verb bhru or bharam. In the case of bhram, it indicates that Krishna and Sudama wandered all about, and in that case, the bhru, which means to carry, it indicates that as the two young boys wandered about, they continued to carry the firewood they had secured for their spiritual master. So you must have seen that picture of Krishna and Sudama, small boys, 7-headed, and then they are under a tree behind the whole rainy, heavy storm and rains, and then they're catching each other's hands and somehow going around having the sticks in their hands. So we see that Krishna was reminding Sudama that, do you remember how it happened? So here, this is very nice purport Sridhara Swami gives, that this gruhita hasta paribabhri maturaha. So this two personalities who were going around, two things are mentioned here, and that is these two this Krishna and Sudama, they were wandering in the forest seeking for some shelter. At the same time, they were catching each other's hand and having wood which they were supposed to carry for the Sandipani Muni, that was also in one hand. So simultaneously they had not given up that wood thinking that, oh, so much difficulty is there. Neither they were giving each other's company because difficulties are there. So we see here a great lesson for devotees, that when the difficulties are there, even in service of Guru, because they both were serving Guru and then difficulties were coming upon them. So even if when we are serving Krishna and serving Guru, we should not think that difficulties will not come. We should not think that it's like a nice red carpet will be kept and then we just walk on it. Difficulties will be there. But then in these difficulties, we can see that both of them, first thing they did was they never left each other. They were strongly catching each other's hand. That shows that in difficulties, friendship with each other, that really takes us from such difficult situations out. And second thing, which is also very important, that they carried that wood which they had collected. They were still carrying. It was not that they just left somewhere. So, the Acharyas, they describe that even in difficulties, the disciple never leaves his service to Guru. So, service to Guru in one hand, and then association of devotees in other hand. That's how the devotees, they lead their life. When the difficulties come, even in their service. So here we see that they both were remembering. So here one thing can be seen, that now Krishna and Sudama, they were staying for quite good amount of time in Sandipani Muni's ashram. But what they remembered is this only, when they both were in difficulty serving Guru. So we see that in our life also, after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, what we'll remember is this only. That how we had gone to do book distribution, and then how it was so difficult, and so somebody kind of chastised and somebody opposed. That only we'll remember. We may not remember the feast items. That may not be so. So whatever things we go through to serve Krishna, to serve Guru, that becomes permanently etched in our hearts. That enhances our connection, enhances our remembrance of Krishna. So here also we see that how Krishna is remembering and Sudama also is remembering. Those days when very vigorously they were serving Guru, and then so many difficulties were there. And we can see that the devotees, when they see this, they immediately remember their service to Srila Prabhupada. So I remember Vaisheshika Prabhu had come here, and then he was telling this story, and then he was telling that how generally previously all the students in Gurukul, they always used to carry either of these two things. One, they will go out every day and collect the wood, and every day they will go out and beg, and everything whatever they beg, that goes to Guru. They can't eat it. So these two things they will always do. You also must have seen that those who are typical Gurukul Vasis, they always carry kusha grass in their hand, because they had to chant so many Vedic mantras and like that. So this kusha grass will be always there in their hand, and they will be always every day going out and begging. Jai SriSriRadhaRasbihariTemple ki, Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Gaunitai ki. So we see that for regular use, this will be in their hand. Either some samidha to put it in the yajna, or kushagrass, because they are chanting some mantras. So here we see that, so His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu was telling that that is a perfect regular duty of any student, to carry the wood in his hand, or carry that durvagras. So when we are seeing, then he was telling that now also there are no such gurukuls, but then we all are students learning Krishna consciousness, and then we also are supposed to carry wood like that, always in our hand. What is that wood? So books are, because they are also made from wood, paper. So when we are carrying the books, that is how the modern Gurukul translation of that Samhidhas, which the boys used to carry in previous ages. And then we can't go and beg outside now. If you go like that, people will not be very happy. Prabhupada, when he was giving class in America, he was telling that actually he was telling to his disciples that you are all students and you are actually supposed to go out and beg. But he said, if you go and beg, people will shoot you out, thinking that somebody has. So, yesterday only I was hearing one of very senior devotees from here, temple, had gone to recently America. And then in the morning, he was just walking. Because in America, every home had some garden. And then generally devotees go out and they chant and like that. So in the morning, 5 o'clock, he went to his garden. And because there is no like exact boundaries for each house. It's just a kind of. So as a regular practice, he just went from the place he was staying, he just entered in another garden, just walking, and then he took a U-turn and came back and things like that. This happened first day, this happened second day. Third day, the lady which was there in that another house was so pitched off. She came with a gun. And she was like so angry with this devotee. He said, I'm going to shoot you. How can you come in front of my home like this? So he said, and he's like, I'm sorry. So with lot of trouble, he has to tell that, I'm from India. I don't know all these things. Forgive me. And then somehow he escaped from there. Just few days back. So we see that in such situation, going out and begging, it's like inviting many bullets. Like that. If you knock the home and then tell. So Prabhupada, with his genius, he invented this most wonderful service of begging, and that is book distribution. This is like mercifully, with compassion of our previous acharyas, being instrument to that compassion, we go out and tell people that please take this Bhagavad-gita, please take these books. These are very wonderful for you and me also. So let us perfect our life. So Prabhupada gave us this wonderful translation of this begging profession of previous Gurukula students. So we go out and then we tell that please take. So previously all the Gurukul students, they used to go every day out to one village, and then they will beg the alms, and then they will get some rice, dal, something like that, and then they will get it to the Gurukul. So similarly, we are also getting this chance to beg for Krishna every day. And this is what the glory of this book distribution marathon. And here we see that if we are begging like that, how much Krishna loves it. Because Sudama begged it, he went outside, got some simple chipped rice, and Krishna was so pleased that he felt that what can I give to him? Because he is having nothing, but he is begging for me. So same fortune which Sudama got, we also have the opportunity to get the same fortune. Because by Prabhupada's mercy, we have got that great fortune of begging people not for money, begging people not for some wealth, begging people for Krishna consciousness, for their benefit. We are begging them that take Bhagavad-gita. So when we are doing that, how much Krishna will be pleased? How much Krishna will be indebted to such devotees who are begging on his behalf? And we see that last time, I still remember, Rameshwar Prabhu had come here. So he was telling that Paramatma in the heart of any conditioned soul, he is waiting for crores and crores of years, hundreds and millions of lifetimes, that when this soul will turn to me. And then he is doing so many things. He is incarnating himself. He is creating the Vedic literature. He is sending his devotees. He is sending his prasad. He is creating temples. Ganga is flowing. Yamuna is flowing. So he is doing whatever comes somehow to turn that living entity back to him. But then he sees that after so many of efforts of millions of years are not coming to any fruit, then he is also thinking what to do. And then Rameshwar Prabhu was telling, in this situation, if a devotee goes with a book to such conditioned soul, and then he convinces that conditioned soul to take that book, he says that the Paramatma in that person's heart starts dancing. That what I was trying for so many ages, now it has achieved. And then he becomes so pleased with that devotee who has done it, that I was not able to do it for so long, and then you have done it in just one day only. That also in just few minutes. So he becomes jubilant and he starts dancing. So, and then Rameshwar Prabhu was telling that we can't imagine how much mercy such devotee will get from Krishna for doing his job. Because that is the job of Krishna, to make everybody Krishna conscious. But then we go and as a and that's how we become, we are acting in the capacity of friend of Krishna. Because friend means friend in need is friend indeed. So we are going out, and the most needed activity, turning everybody to Krishna, we are doing it on behalf of Krishna, which is Krishna's job. Krishna feels that I should do it. But then we are supporting, although we have no qualification, but then taking a role of instrument in the hands of compassionate preachers like Srila Prabhupada. We are doing this, then Krishna will be so pleased. So the way the Krishna blessed Sudama Brahman, and Krishna blessed Sudama Brahman, here also one very important thing in the purport we see that Krishna was feeling incompetent to reciprocate with Sudama's love. He felt that he gave something which was not with him. He begged from outside and then gave. So Krishna was feeling that if I give something which I have already, that is not sufficient. I should beg from somebody else superior and then give. But then where Krishna will beg? What he can, because everything he has, he owns it. So Krishna feels that I can't do that, what Sudama did. So he feels very indebted and feels that incompetent to reciprocate with Sudama. And very silently he gives. That silence shows his, he feels that I am inadequate. I am not able to fully justify. So we see that when Krishna is reciprocating, not always he will beat drums and tell, okay, now click a photo and then put it in newspaper that how much I gave mercy to. But then Krishna will be very silently bless such devotees. So we see here that Krishna did not give right in hand in front to Sudama, but then from behind very nicely he provided all the facilities to Sudama. So similarly, when we are serving Krishna, being the instrument of mercy of Prabhupada, then Krishna will be for sure very, very pleased and bless us. And then here the description is given that how Krishna is very silently giving him the riches. And then he gives the example of rain, that how previously, because the farmer is so devoted to Krishna, the farmer is so devoted to nature, the cloud also thinks that what can I give for this? Farmer is so wonderful, so better to give rain in night time when he is sleeping rather than disturbing him in daytime. So that's how it used to happen in previous ages, that the rains never used to come in the daytime, just so that it will not affect the natural course of their actions in the daytime. So similarly, here also we see that Krishna becomes silently merciful to those devotees who go out and distribute books and beg like Sudama and give that offering to. And that's how we see that whatever we are begged every day, in the morning it is offered to Radharasbihari. In terms of, we tell the scores, and then Krishna is so pleased. So we have this wonderful opportunity for all of us all the time. So to please Krishna with our this wonderful begging profession. Hare Krishna. So so two things we saw here. One was how devotee feels very connected, grateful, and remembers Krishna and Guru when he is given facilities. We saw how Sudama was feeling like that. And then we saw the example of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj and His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj. And then we saw that how Krishna feels so indebted and feeling inadequate, very silently he blesses his devotees. And we saw that how book distribution is the best form of begging for Krishna. So Krishna will be very pleased by such wonderful, compassionate activities. Hare Krishna. So any comments? So Radha Krishna Prabhu is commenting because he is doing that wonderful, benevolent begging activity whole life. They are the pioneers here.
पुराने दिनों की याद करना है हम लोगों को. जैसे प्रभु जी ने बहुत सुंदर लेक्चर बताया कि खाली बुक्स डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करना है और हम भगवान को समर्पण होना है. देखिए इस मंदिर में हमारे पास जो डिपार्टमेंट है उसमें 60 भक्त थे हमारे पास संकीर्तन में. 83, 81, 82, 79, 60 भक्त सिर्फ थे हमारे. और हमारे पास 7 बसेस थी और 3 मेटाडोर था. और सब भर भर के हम लोग 4:30 बजे से लेके पूरा बुक लेकर 7 बजे कोई भी पारंगण में सिर्फ आदमी नहीं मिलता था. यहाँ पर सिर्फ 3 पुजारी मिलेंगे और बाहर की पब्लिक मिलेगी. वो जो समय था, काल कर्म के अनुसार अभी सब बदली हो गया, आज परमिशन नहीं मिल रहा है हम लोगों को। फिर भी जैसे प्रभुपाद ने परसों के दिन बताया कि हमारी भाषा में बताया, कल जो रिपोर्ट पढ़ा, परसों का जो रिपोर्ट पढ़ा, उसमें लिखा कि ये हमारा बिजनेस है। क्या हमारा है? बुक सेलिंग हमारा बिजनेस है ये। इससे सब कुछ हमारा निवारण हो जाएगा, जो हमको चाहिए वो सब मिलेगा, लेकिन यू प्लीज फोर्स बुक सेलिंग। तो ये जो बुक्स डिसीजन है, ये सभी लोगों को इंथुजाइजली करना चाहिए। और हर दम हम कहते हैं कि 2 टॉपिक हमारे पास है चैतन्य महाप्रभु जी, हरिनाम संकीर्तन और बुक डिस्कशन, इसके सिवा कोई नहीं है। और उस समय रूल था कि कम से कम न्यू भक्त जो बनता है तो वो 2 साल संकीर्तन करेगा, 2 या 3 साल संकीर्तन करेगा, उसके बाद ही मंदिर का प्रोग्राम कुछ भी आपको जो भी दिया जाएगा वो कराया जाएगा। और उस समय जब हम आते थे संकीर्तन से 1-1 महीना, 2-2 महीना, 3-3 महीना जब बाहर रह के आते थे, तब मंदिर में आने के बाद भी हमारी 4-4 क्लास, नेक्टर ऑफ डिवोशन क्लास, उसके बुक सेलिंग करने का, भागवतम गीता क्लास में बुक सेलिंग करने, उपनिषद क्लास उसके बुक सेलिंग करने का, सारा बुक सेलिंग के बारे में हमारे आज लीडर हमको सिखाते थे। लेकिन आज परंपरा कैसी टूट गई पता नहीं, भगवान राधारासबिहारी हमारे वैष्णवगण क्या करते हैं। तो आज संकीर्तन के जो भक्त है वो तो हमारे पास बसेस नहीं रही है आजकल, क्योंकि तकलीफ, जैसे प्रभु जी ने कहा कि बहुत तकलीफ था कि उससे भीख मांगना, जाना, किसी दरवाजे भी जाना तो कोई गोली मारेगा, कुछ करेगा, ये सब हकीकत है। और आज ऐसा चालू हो गया मुंबई में, मुंबई सिटी अमेरिका जैसी ही बन गई। लेकिन उसके बाद भी हम प्रभुपाद के वाणी को शुद्ध करने के लिए, प्रभुपाद के वाणी को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए अपने आप को करना चाहिए। तो मैं तो चाहता हूँ कि देखिए प्रभु लोग यहाँ पर हमारे पास, अगर बाहर नहीं तो यहाँ पर हज़ारों लोग आते हैं, तो एक बुक अगर डेली आप सेलिंग करोगे तो राधा भी बहुत खुश हो जाएगा। एक बुक एक भक्त को देवे, कॉर्नर में खड़ा होकर एक बुक दे दीजिए। क्योंकि उस समय हमारे पास 3 मेट्रोडोर में था। जब मैं पहली बार जब संकीर्तन में गया 80 में, तब कृष्ण मुरारी, मैं भगवान दास और 2-3 भक्त, हम अमोघ लीला हमारे इंचार्ज थे। वो हमको दादर से लेके छोड़ते विटी जाएंगे, और ये हम उस समय पहुँचते थे हम लोग करीब 10 बजे, और 10 बजे से शाम को 8 बजे तक एकदम टकला, एकदम साफ है हम लोग का। और 3 किताब थे, कृष्ण की और नेक्टर ऑफ डिवोशन, कृष्ण की और जन्मामृतजा पलिकड़े और सुगम यात्रा, और भागवत गीता 6 अध्याय की गीता। इतनी गीता छोटी थी, 6 अध्याय गीता, 3 बार खड़े रहते थे। और जब शाम के समय आते थे तो उस समय इस्कॉन का प्रचार नहीं था, ये टकला कोई मरता था, ऐसा करता, क्या क्या करते थे, दादर स्टेशन पे खड़े रहते थे। तो शाम को कभी कभी हम 1 बुक दिन भर में सेलिंग करते थे, 1 बुक, कभी 2 बुक सेलिंग करते थे, कभी 3 बुक सेलिंग करते थे हम लोग दिन भर में। और शाम को जब आते थे हम लोग रात को 9 बजे के समय मंदिर में, तो गिरिराज स्वामी पीछे जो हमारा ये है जो क्या दुकान जो है, वहाँ पर प्रसाद रूम था हमारा, वहाँ पर रात को 9 बजे तक अकेले बैठे रहते थे, और वो प्रसाद खिलाते थे हमको, तभी खाते थे। उसके बाद हम लोग सब सोने जाते थे। और सुबेरे मंगला आरती के समय इतना बड़ा टोप भर के हमको खीर दिया जाता था 1 बुक सेलिंग करने से। और आज तो कितना बड़ा हो रहा है, कितने बड़े मात्रा में कर रहे हैं भक्त लोग। तो कहने का तात्पर्य कि पुराने जो दिन थे सुवर्ण दिन थे, और आज भी हम चाहते हैं कि यही आप लोगों में इंतजार होनी चाहिए कि कैसे हम बुक सेलिंग करें। 1 महीना है, दिसंबर महीना में, यस प्रभुपाद की असीम कृपा है, राधारासबिहारी की असीम कृपा, सारे वैष्णव की असीम कृपा इस महीने में है। अगर आप 1 बुक सेलिंग करोगे, जैसे प्रभु जी ने कहा कि, राधेश्याम प्रभु जी ने कहा कि हजारों साल से वो आत्मा वेटिंग कर रहा है, कोई तो मेरे पास आए, ये भौतिक संसार में पड़ा हूँ, तो कोई तो कोई व्यक्ति मुझे कुछ गाइड करे। अगर आपका 1 बुक उसके हाथ में जाएगा और वो किताब पढ़ेगा तो उसका मंगल होगा। तो इसलिए भक्तों, ये पुरानी बातें हैं, ये पुरानी बातें शाश्वत बातें हैं, सनातन बातें हैं, इन लोगों को हमको करना चाहिए और आगे कृष्ण भावना में, क्योंकि हमें 10,000 साल चलना है, 1 दिन 2 दिन नहीं, 10,000 साल चलना है। हमारी मूवमेंट में हमारे आचार्य ने, कृष्ण ने, सभी ने कहा है कि 10,000 साल तक मूवमेंट चलेगी। तो हम अगर परंपरा से कृष्ण का जो बुक सेलिंग करेंगे, प्रभुपाद का बुक सेलिंग करें, तो प्रभुपाद खुश हो जाएंगे और कृष्ण खुश हो जाएंगे। धन्यवाद। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण। थैंक यू राधा कृष्ण प्रभु। श्रील प्रभुपाद की, श्रीमद् भागवतम की।
इस ग्रेस सुंदर चैतन्य प्रभु जी की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
हरे कृष्ण।